guys, thanks for watching Homesteading on the Side. I know I'm sunburnt. Today we're going to make some Mongolian chicken and rice. So for this recipe we're going to need 2 pounds of chicken. I have 2 very large chicken breasts here. Sesame oil, soy sauce, brown sugar, cornstarch, red chili flakes, vegetable oil, some water. And you're also going to need the bottom to your stock pot, and then I've got a bag here so we have to coat the chicken before we put it in the crock pot. Let's get started. Start by getting the sauce together in the bottom of the crock pot, which I've got right here to the side. And I'm going to start with the ginger and the garlic. I keep it, I buy a big knob at the grocery store, and then I just keep it frozen in a freezer bag. And when I need it, I just pull it out. I cut a chunk off like that, and then just peel it. So I just use a spoon and just peel it. I find that a spoon works better, because if I use a knife, then I start taking chunks out of it, and I want the ginger in the food. And another thing that I do that makes it so much easier than chopping it and mincing it is I have a little cheese grater here. And I just get a big chunk of garlic and a big chunk of this ginger, and I just grate it right in. It makes it easier than having to mince it all. It's not as time consuming. And then all the pieces are even, and ginger has tends to be kind of fibrous, and it helps break down the fiber so that I don't have a whole lot of hair, I guess like fiber hairs in it. Okay, rinse that off. And there you have it, it's all peeled. And I've got 2 pieces here. Like I said, I put them in the freezer. But the recipe calls for, let me get my book out. The recipe that I have adapted, that I use, calls for a tablespoon each of diced or minced fresh garlic and fresh ginger. So you can use as much or as little as you want, depending on how much flavor you like. And we say sorry about the absolute hellacious mess in the kitchen. We took our boat out yesterday, and naturally nothing in the house got done, which is normal. So let me get the garlic. And you don't want to smash the garlic too much. You want it to stay intact so you can grate it in. So usually if I'm just dicing it or mincing it, I give it a really good whack, and it helps kind of break it all down. But since I'm going to be grating it, I'm not going to smash it that hard. Just enough to get the layer off. That's got a little spot in it. Alright, so then I'm just going to grate it. See how it makes all the pieces small and even? I'm just going to grate that right into my crock pot bowl. Then it doesn't leave much left. And same with my ginger. And like I said, feel free, to use more or less, so you can kind of see the fibers in the ginger. That keeps it from getting in. And I don't want to get my fingers. Alright, that's good. Let's start with that first. And always taste it before you start cooking it. That way you know what it tastes like before everything starts coming together. Sorry, I'm going to get my rag. So then we are going to need 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. One, 2. And I use a little dash of sesame oil. Just, like I said, just a hair, just a little splash. Just kind of give it a little extra sesame flavor. I've got the garlic and the onion in here. I've got red chili flakes, I like a little heat. If you don't like heat, don't use it. This is by all means absolutely voluntary. I do a 1/4 teaspoon because we don't like it super spicy. Well, the kids don't. I need 3/4 of a cup of soy sauce. Let me get this lid off. I hate that. Makes it so hard to pour. Alright, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So 3/4 of a cup of soy sauce, 3/4 of a cup of water, and then 1 cup of brown sugar. Sorry, I always make a terrible mess when I cook. Never fails. That's how you know you're a good cook. Make a mess in the kitchen. So here's 1/2 cup and 1 cup. Alright, so everything is in the pot. Just kind of stir it around. Get everything mixed together. It smells awesome. Alright, so it's all mixed in. And what I'm going to do now is get the meat started. And what you're going to need is a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And I just put it in this is just a bread bag that I have. And I'm going to cut the chicken into strips and put it in the cornstarch mixer and coat it. And once it's coated, I'll add it into the juice here. So let me get that started. I pulled my chicken breasts out of the freezer, and I prefer them frozen when I cut them because it makes it so much easier to cut and to get nice even pieces. And I've got my cornstarch here in the bottom of a bag. It's just a 1/4 cup. And then I just take it and cut it into strips. And then I'll take those pieces and just cut them like that. So that way there's nice pretty strips. And then just drop them into the cornstarch and we'll coat them before we throw them in the pot. And this can be made on the stove if you don't want to use a crock pot, like if you're trying to just throw it together. And what you'll do is you'll get the vegetables that you like. We're going to be using sugar snaps, onions, bell pepper, and some carrots in this. But you can use whatever vegetables that you like or that you have. This is a great way to use up any extra that's in the freezer or in the fridge that you just need to get rid of. It's kind of like a stir fry in the crock pot, so just throw it in. And you'll just need to cook your vegetables first, just soften them. And then take your vegetables out and cook your meat. Add your vegetables back in and throw the sauce on top. And then it'll be cooked and ready to go for a quick throw together. But like I said, I have quite a bit of laundry and I got some cleaning to do today. I'm just going to throw this in the crock pot. That way I can get other stuff done around the house today. Gotta make bread. We're out of bread. But yeah, just cut it into slices, or if you want to do cubes, do cubes. Like I said, we have sugar snaps that are going in this, and I kind of like everything to be about the same size and shape, just because it helps it all cook easier. Alright, so let me get this other one going and coated, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I'm done with the chicken, and it's all in here and coated. And that's another reason that I like it frozen, is the cornstarch gets all over better. So I'm just going to add this into the crock pot. And stir it up. And I'm just going to get this cooking. I'm going to put it on high, because it's frozen chicken. But just get everything coated and throw it on high. And I've got this board here. It's a plastic board, so that way it doesn't get all in your wood. And I'm going to dice these smaller just into slivers. A bell pepper that I'm going to sliver up. And then I'm going to get the membrane out of the top of my sugar snap. But these won't go in until an hour before I'm ready to serve it. So let me get this cooking and we'll be back when I'm ready to throw in the vegetables. See y'all soon. Alright, so this has been cooking for 5 hours. And you can see how thick the cornstarch coating that we coated the chicken with before we started cooking it is what makes it so thick and creamy. So now that it's done, I have some carrots and some sugar snaps here that I'm going to throw in. And we'll be ready to eat in about an hour. Maybe less. I don't know. I may not cook them that long. But just get all of it mixed in. And the heat will help soften the vegetables. And when they are softened to where... Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize it was steaming. Until... I will soften them until they are to the consistency that I like, which we like a little bit of bite. So I'll probably cook these for 30 minutes or so. I'm going to go ahead and get my rice going because I am notorious for starting dinner and not getting my rice done. So let me get the rice on before I forget, and when it's done, this should be about ready. We'll see you back in a little bit.